Ethnicgreenliving here, and in this video I am going to be talking about homeschool read alouds and building a love of reading. So honestly, this is one of my favorite things to do in my homeschool is read. I love books. I'm sure you guys have seen more books on this channel than you can imagine. But I have loved reading books even when I was a little girl. That's what I spent predominantly most of my time on. In fact, by the time I was exiting elementary school, I'm sure I had read probably half to 2/3 of all the books in the library. So tip number one, if I had to just break it down into a couple tips, would be to be excited. I am excited about reading, and so I think that excites my kids. I think they like seeing mommy so excited. So it's exciting for them, it's exciting for me. Tip number two would be to make it fun. Use funny voices for characters. Cuddle up with blankets. Have none messy snacks. Set a goal for reading. And that could be, read one read aloud this month or two this month. And then whenever they read the goal, then you guys celebrate, right? Like, who doesn't want a reason to celebrate? Number three, use all levels of books. For anything and for everything, use all the levels. You don't have to say, I can only use a chapter book, or I can only use a storybook, or I can only use an easy reader. No, baby. And if that's what you're thinking, I want to give you permission today to expand your thought process on that. I read I read picture books, I read chapter books, I read early reader books, and I try to do a really nice mix of them all. Also, keep in mind, I have 5 children, so I have children ranging from age 4 to 14, and I love they're going to have some things that are on their level, they're going to have some things that are a little bit higher than their level, and they're going to have some things that are below their level, but they all work together to do what? Build a love of reading, build a love of learning, build a love of books, and it reaches everyone where they are, and it gives everyone something to chew on. So it's creating a perfect feast. Think about when you make your meal. You don't have all meat or all vegetables or all starch or all dessert. You have a little bit of everything, and it's just absolutely perfect. Tip number 4, add in a little bit of art. If you have little ones that don't want to be still, or if you have really, if you have really good, if you have children who are really interested into art, this is their time. If you have children that have a hard time sitting still, like they got hands in their pants or something, this is cool for them too. Let them draw what they're reading. So whatever you're reading, give them paper, pencil, notepad, notebook, or whatever. Let them draw. Chalkboard, if you have that, let them draw. Let them illustrate what you're reading. How fun for them, how fun for you. And that also helps keep the attention span a little bit longer, because if we're honest, sometimes it can be hard for the littler ones to be still as long as the bigger ones, but things like that certainly add a beautiful flavor to the mix. Okay, number 5, use incentives. Okay, let the reading or the reports that your children do count towards their credit, or even if it's not, like, just pretend like, oh yeah, that goes towards XYZ or now XY. You make it up. You're the parent, you're the teacher, you know what your home looks like. But it could be also per month or per week. If you do X amount of reports, you get this. If you do X amount of books, you do this. That's like a little incentive. It could be something as simple as they get a sticker. It could be they get a token. It could be they get a point. It could be they get extra, staying up later for bedtime. If you've read a certain amount of books per month, you get a movie or a game that you're not paying for, that I'm paying for. I know that there are some studies and people who believe that you should not give your children incentives. However, I want to challenge that in a way, because when you're working, doesn't an incentive help you? doesn't that boss telling you that there's a raise or this or that or bonuses, that incentivizes you. It makes you want to get the job done and get it done right. And it's definitely something that motivates us as adults. And the reality is, if we do the right thing, typically we kind of get a good outcome. If we do the wrong thing, typically get it wrong. Now, we know there's some cases, but the point is, if incentive is going to work to get your child to read and your child hates reading, then do it. If your child doesn't like to read, your child doesn't want to read, and you can say, hey, if you complete this, you can stay up 30 minutes later, you can have 30 minutes extra on your game, you can have a snack, we can bake together, we can do something together. If you can make that incentive and they'll take it, and you'll see their love of reading change, or even their level of reading change, absolutely, I'm all for it. Number 6, let the books tie in with the lessons. I'm all about living books. I've done so many videos on living books. I really love them. And I think living books are great because they're living. You know, it teaches so much. It reinforces lessons, points out important information. It also lets the child just explore what you've already been learning about. It lets them see it and hear it in a different way because it's presented in a different way. Especially think about children's picture books where they can kind of put their own story to it. Number 7, let the kids take turns reading. So even during the read alouds, maybe for that book, maybe you can just let everybody read one sentence. Or, you know, for the page, or if they want, let them read more. Maybe, you know, each child reads 2 sentences, you read a paragraph. Or you read a page and then they split the next page and you read a page. However you do it, sometimes they want to do that, sometimes they don't. So you just kind of go according to how your family likes to do things. And number 8, read on your own. First of all, like I said, I love books. And in this month of August, I have read over 10 books on my own. And I think only one of those were an audiobook or was an audiobook. So I really do like books. And I want to say, your children watch you. Are you telling them to do something that you don't actually do yourself? Are you leading by example? You know, we can say to our children, it's important to read. Reading is important. Reading this, reading that. But do they see you read? And if they don't see you read, they're probably not going to be as interested in reading overall. Of course, we have those children that, you know, they're going to be amazing regardless, right? But typically, if you have a love for something, often your children have a love for it too. So these are just a few tips to help get learning, you know, a love of learning to read, a love of reading. And so I also want to talk about the read alouds. So reader alouds are typically chapter books that you just read to your child. Like I said, they can read to you some, you can read to them. You can choose wherever, all those things, all the tips that I just gave you, and some really amazing ones to just start with. If you just are new to this and you've never read aloud to your children, it's okay. It doesn't matter if your child is in 10th grade, if your child is in 1st grade, if your child's infant, if your child's a pre-K, it doesn't matter. All children love to be read to, and they love spending that time with you, their parent. And I think that it's creating memories that last a lifetime. So maybe books like James and the Giant Peach, maybe books like Charlotte's Web, maybe books like The Wild Robot or Wonder. Those are really great books. Also, we love Sophie Mouse. That is something we're definitely loving in our home. My boys love The Magic Tree House. They love Diary of a Wimpy Kid. And sometimes you have to be okay with your child not wanting to read what you want them to read, if you will. You have to be okay with them reading different genres, if you will, because if that's what's going to allow them to read and give them that motivation and that encouragement, I say go for it and don't stifle it by trying to be in control of what they read. I do think you should monitor. I do think that you should view. We're not reading everything in this home because that's not how we do things here. However, all the books don't have to be purely educational living books. If they want a little twaddle, is my point, it's okay. I know some people say no twaddle, but you know what? If reading that twaddle is going to help your child, I'm all for what's going to help your child. So anyway, I hope this video helps in some ways with reading. I love reading. It's probably one of my most favorite things to do. And I tell you the truth, it's how I like to spend my time. And when I think about just getting older and all those things, I think about being in a rocking chair or in a sunroom surrounded by bookshelves everywhere. And we won't even talk about bookshelves because I've got like 4 bookshelves of books. Speaking of, if you come back from my next video, I'm going to be doing kind of a follow-up to this video where I am actually going to be showing my homeschool library and my early reader center. But I wanted to talk about it first and then show it to you. So guys, as always, thank you for joining me for this video. If you will, tell me one tip that you have for reading aloud and just instilling a love of learning or instilling a love of books into your children. If you'll just do me a favor and put that one thing in the comments below, then other people who are watching this video can definitely be blessed and encouraged by that comment. And they'll have the ones that I gave plus the ones that you're giving. So teamwork, we're getting it done. We're inspiring people. And I just want to remind you guys, if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so that you can see the tour and you can get other videos like this. Well guys, that's all my time for today. Thank you again for watching. Blessings.